Broadcasting live, it's Cream Pie Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And now for your hosts, give it up for Josh and Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, we're back with another creepy episode, another Sunday. We're just rolling through these bad boys. Coming up on the end of the year, we're feeling pretty good. Rick's looking very colorful, very Christmas-esque, if you will. And you better, because he's ready. He's going to go jolly on your naughty ass. You're not good. You're on the naughty list this year, baby. How you feeling over there, dude?
I'm good, man. I set an alarm for 9 and I got out of bed at like 10:15, so I'm ready to roll, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those.
I've been waking up early for the past couple of weeks, just trying to fix my circadian rhythm. I'll tell you one thing. You know how I take breaks from the booze every now and then? Give the old liver, beat the hell out of him. He's just like a homeless guy in a ditch. And then I revive him back to health, give him some soup every couple months. Give him a little spoonful of tea. And yeah, he's back. But I've been taking GABA. You ever take GABA?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay, so it's a supplement. I don't know what it is either. And you know how it is. They say it doesn't work. It doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier. But I don't believe them because I've been taking it and it just makes you chill. And I think I feel it. But the one thing I've noticed is I've had crazy dreams. Like super vivid. Haven't had a lucid one. I mean, I have lucid dreams, but I haven't had one yet with the GABA. But man, it's the weirdest thing. So I had like the most realistic dream I've had in years last week on this GABA. And then I woke up at like 3 a.m. and it like opened this pathway in my brain. And I started remembering all these dreams that I've had in the past from like years ago. I'm like, oh yeah, remember that dream? Remember that dream? And it's just like, I don't know what it did. It like unlocked that door. And so I wrote all these dreams down. Like a mad scientist.
So is this GABA thing, is that like a liver recovery nutritious?
No, it's just a supplement. It's not for the liver. I would take like milk thistle for that or something.
Yeah.
But this is just literally like a calming thing. I don't know much. I'm not a scientist or that's how it's advertised. They say like there's no scientific evidence it does anything, but they say that about a lot of supplements. They say the same thing about like melatonin. Like, oh, it can't cross the blood-brain barrier, so like why does it make you sleepy? But it makes me fucking sleepy. It works. I don't think it's placebo.
I mean, you would hope that by this point in technology, like when we say, all right, this is going to help this, that it actually has an effect. I mean, even before this, I took like a single alpha brain. So yeah, I'm expecting a very solid pod today because I'm firing on all cylinders here.
That's the other thing too. They say alpha brain, like, oh, well, they did a double-blind placebo test for alpha brain. Seemed to work. I mean, I don't know. But then again, like, I think they just want to sell you Ambien. So that's why they're like, melatonin doesn't work. Because it's too cheap.
Yeah.
They don't make any money off that shit. I don't know though, man. I notice a difference. I really do. For a lot of this. But then on the same side of the creamsicle, it's like there are a lot of grifters out there, a lot of charlatans that push products that don't do shit. I mean, there's a lot of supplements that don't do anything too, So I don't know.
I mean, even just outside the realm of supplements, I mean, the medication I take, I've been taking the same shit for like years and years. Yeah. And I don't even know if it works anymore. I was talking to my sister about this on the phone last week. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I'm on this, but I don't really know if it works. Or no, she said I was on this and then it like didn't work and I had to talk to my doctor and then like we got like the meds figured out or whatever. And I'm thinking it's like, dude, I don't even know if the shit I'm taking works anymore because it's like they could have been giving me sugar pills and just because of the state of mind that I was in back then, I was like, all right, this is going to work. This is going to get me on the right path.
Right.
And maybe it doesn't even work at all.
Who knows, man? Maybe it has a poop out date. A lot of those, like they say that certain SSRIs only work for people for a few years and they have to switch them. But then again, I think in England, they had a study last year that was like a 10-year long study that proved that serotonin levels in the brain have no effect on anxiety or depression. So we've just been giving people SSRIs for 40 years. It's so strange too, because they were for depression, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, right? So it blocks like the reuptake of serotonin. This is fucking nerd shit. It blocks the reuptake of serotonin in your brain. So your brain basically over time just has more serotonin in it, you know, because it can't reabsorb it. But then they're like, oh, serotonin is good for people that are depressed. You know, it's like the community hormone. It's like the thing that makes you feel safe and secure, you know? Yeah. And they're like, let's just start giving it to people with anxiety too. And so they lump anxiety into the depression thing, but they're completely different diseases. Anxiety and depression. I'm never depressed. I'm anxious as fuck all the time. They're not the same thing. I mean, I think I've gone through small bouts of depression, but I think anxiety is always focusing on the future and depression is always focusing on like the past. Maybe. Not entirely, but
Yeah. I mean, I think anxiety is either looking at the past, because I know for me, I don't really like suffer anxiety. I just like, even yesterday I went to like a birthday dinner for some of like one of Emily's friends or whatever. Yeah. And I'm more or less forced to interact with like these husbands and these boyfriends of people I don't really know that well. And she just kind of like comes over to me at the end of the night and she's like, "You're pretty quiet tonight." And I'm like, I don't know these people, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just force me to be like me around people I don't know, you know? It's like, come on.
Yeah. It's
What do you
funny.
expect?
It's funny when you're like the person that knows both and you're like, oh, how come they're not like hanging out? It's because from your perspective, you know them both very well, but they don't know each other.
Well, and then it's the whole like I'm standing next to this guy and I just like small talking like, "Oh, did you get bullied into buying a Christmas tree this year?" And we both are standing there with our hands in our pockets, just kind of like talking like in the corner of the room. And then I see Emily, she's kind of like pointing at us like, "Oh, look, they're talking." And it's like, this doesn't help. Like, this doesn't help the situation.
Yeah. What is this, a
Just
play
like
date?
I know, it's like I've
fucking-
always I think I got it from my dad, but just the whole like, "Oh, you're more talkative than usual." Like I hate when I'm told that. Or like, "Oh, you're really quiet today." It's like you can't expect him to be on it every single day, you know? I'm not like that.
No, me either, man. I'm very introverted. I gotta work on that actually, because I feel like I don't want to piss anybody off ever, or like I want everybody to like me, and it's a problem sometimes because then certain people are assholes and I don't say anything because I don't want to get in a fight. It takes a lot for me to, and then by the time I'm doing that, like I'm so infuriated that I can't think straight anyways, you know? But
a big portion for me is just like showing respect. Like this past week I had to give toolbox talks at work, which I don't know if people are aware of what these are, but basically I go around to different sections of the building and I talk about a safety topic, right? So sometimes it's about, you know, how to properly lift a pallet or you know, making sure you're checking inspections for forklifts and all this shit. So this week it was about shoveling safety. So going out, making sure you're warmed up before you start shoveling, you know, shoveling at the beginning of the storm before it's the end of the storm, and, you know, lifting with your legs and all. And it's very just like, it's not stuff that people have to do at work. And the first one I did this week, this dude like looks at me and he goes, "I have a question. Why are we learning about shoveling when I don't have to shovel at work?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, it's because, you know, I'm assuming everybody in here has probably lifted a shovel at one point in their life, and we live in New Hampshire and there's snow." And he goes, "Yeah, but we don't shovel at work." I'm like, "Okay, well, you know, this could apply to you outside of work. That's why we're doing it." And he goes, "I don't understand why I'm learning about shoveling at work." And he says that, and literally 10 full like Mississippi seconds, I'm just staring at him, and he's staring at me. And there's another 15 people like in the area doing the toolbox talk, and I'm just grilling them. And I look up, I'm like, "All right, you guys are all set." And then like, it's like, why are you giving me a fucking hard time? I don't want to give the fucking toolbox talk, and you're being a dick about it, you know, because you don't. It's inconvenient for you to spend 5 minutes every 2 weeks to learn about something that might not 100% have to do with work. And I was like, I got fucking pissed, dude. I was like, what a fucking asshole.
So let me ask you this about the old toolbox talk here, guy. So they hand you what you need to talk about, or do you come up with them on your own?
Well, I come up with the material. So I was like, all right, this is the last one of the year. I could talk about shoveling safety. And my boss is like, "Yep, do that. That sounds fine." I mean, I've done other toolbox talks where it isn't completely about work. It could be about other things. Like like I give meetings like before Thanksgiving, there was stuff that I was talking about like, all right, turkey, it's an acronym for cooking your turkey to an appropriate temperature and making sure it's like not unsafe to eat or whatever and this and that. So it's like not everything I do is about just, at work. It's about just life and health and safety in general.
Interesting.
But yeah, dude, it's just my whole week last week was summed up by me just staring at this dude as like my blood pressure is just rising. And he's just looking at me with a smug little look on his face. It's like, dude, fuck you. I don't need to fucking take this, dude.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you think he has a point at all? Or like, can you see where he's coming from? Yeah.
But and then I walked by and the supervisor, I went to go like, because I didn't know his name and I want to know his name after the fact. So supervisor comes up to me and she goes, oh no, they already told me about it. And I'm like, oh, so this is a thing. Like people are talking about this.
Right.
That it was just such an awkward encounter. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, I don't understand why he would say that because we had a person last year that missed time at work because they hurt themselves shoveling. And I'm like, that's the connection. If you hurt yourself in your driveway and you can't come to work, that affects you at work.
There you go.
Like, come on.
You found it. You found the bridge.
Come on.
I was just thinking like, what if I mean, he don't got to be a dick about it, but I see what he's saying. Like, hey, this has nothing to do with my job at the same time. You know what I mean? But if you can find a connection, I don't know. Yeah.
It's just the group that I'm in, EHS, we get disrespected. That's just the way it works. And it's just like, that's how everybody phrases it. It's like, yeah, you guys get shit sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sure everybody does, but like, just the whole health and safety, especially these old dudes that like don't think it's important. I mean, I have a job here for a reason, and I probably, it's important that I say these things. So I don't know, just my little toolbox talk rant.
Toolbox. Yeah, I need to get better at sticking up for myself, but it's just easier to just be like, whatever, I don't care. I was bartending last night. I walk in, this chick is working there. I don't like working with her. Thank God she ended up leaving. It didn't work last night. I walk in there and I'm like, I play a game with myself. How long until she either tells me to do something like she's my boss, which she's not, or says I'm doing something wrong? And last night it was like 2 minutes. Where she's a bartender, I'm bartending,
Yeah.
She's worked at this particular place longer than me, but I think I've been bartending longer than her. I've been bartending for like 10 fucking years, dude.
Yeah.
I don't need instructions on how to run a dishwasher. I know how to hit the fucking button. I know how to put dishes. We're not building nuclear weapons here. We're serving beers. So, but then I walk in and I'm like, Jesus, God, she sucks. And I'm stocking the fridge. I'm putting stuff in the fridge. And then she walks over. Don't put those in there. We need that space for this. I'm like, well, there's kind of space for both if you think about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's easier just for me to be like, okay, and just like walk away. And then the second she leaves, I just put it wherever I want. And it's fine. Yeah. It's like certain people just like telling people what to do, I think. And it's easier for me to just, all right, bitch, this is like your moment. You can have it. This is my second job. I don't really give a fuck. I'm not going to start a fight with you because it's not going to, what's it going to fix if I'm like, why? That's stupid. Like, I don't understand why you're telling me what to do. What is that going to accomplish other than her disliking me more and doing it more often? Because it's not going to fix anything. It's going to make but at the same time, I wish I could just be like, why does it fucking matter, dude? Like, leave me alone. I don't know if it would make it worse or better.
It comes down to one circumstance when you speak up and you say, it doesn't matter. Stop telling me what to do. You say that once and she's either going to flip out on you or she's going to go, okay. She's going to do the exact same thing you typically do. Right. Where it's like, all right, I'll disagree with you. And she'll be like, all right, well, maybe I'm going to stop pushing this dude.
This bitch would definitely do the former. I'm telling you. She ain't going to be like, oh, okay. No, she's going to be like, it's going to be a big issue. So it's just easier to fucking take it on the chin and listen to her for 10 minutes until she leaves. But
yeah, or you could be like, oh, do you want to do this? I'm sorry. Were you doing the task that I was doing? I would do it. I would do it like very passive aggressively. Like, that's kind of how I roll. Yeah.
That's what I did. That's exactly what I ended up doing. I just ended up standing there not doing anything until she left. Because I'm like, I'm trying to do 3 things. Apparently, I've done all 3 of them wrong. By the way, there's more than one right way to do something. Sometimes, it's fine. But so I tried to do 3 things. she thought they were all wrong. So I just stood there and didn't do anything. I didn't touch a dish, didn't talk to a customer. And then 10 minutes later, she left, and then I just did what I wanted. And by the way, successful night. No issues. So, whatever.
Dishwasher didn't explode or nothing.
Almost. Yeah. Dude, let me ask you a question. When I say the word dink, what does that mean to you?
Isn't like a hot dog? That's what I usually like, choking down dinks.
Yeah. Sucking down a dink.
Yeah.
It was a racial slur in the Vietnam War. That's what they call them. Dinks.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you rewatch the movie Platoon, they call them dinks the whole movie. You know, the one where fucking Willem Dafoe is like, getting shot like 9 million times. Yeah, so it was that, and then it's like another word for dick, and then hot dog. Gen Z has taken the word dink from millennials. Dink is now an acronym.
For what?
Double income, no kids. So
that means you're working 2 jobs and you have no kids?
I think it just means like you're a couple and you don't have kids. So you and I are technically dinks now, dude. According to Gen Z, we're dinks.
This is fucking stupid, dude.
You know, dink used to mean something in this country.
Where the hell did the word glizzy come from all of a sudden? Now there's glizzy kings and people that just choke down footlongs, and it's like, where all of a sudden the word glizzy king became like a common phrase in my vocabulary, and I don't know when it happened.
So originally, I think glizzy was like the Glock. It was a gun reference. Like I got that glizzy, and then one day somebody posted something like joking about the hot dog being the glizzy, and it just caught on.
Damn.
Yeah, and now glizzy strictly means sucking down a dink. So dink became glizzy, and couple without kids became dink. English, baby. Gotta love that slang.
I don't get it.
Dude, we're gonna be old. I mean, we're already getting old, but we're so out of the loop now, man. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I live in my own little world. We bring it up every week, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. So I bring it up all the time. Very little time on social media. So I've got a little story here. It's not really a rant, but
oh, baby. Give it to me, Papa.
Have you ever been friends with somebody on social media where their life is just deteriorating and they're just falling apart post by post? Have you ever seen that?
Oh, yeah. Few times.
Dude, holy shit. I'm not going to give any names. There's a girl.
Can you say the name? Oh, wait. Well, I probably don't know her anyways, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't know her anyways.
Oh, okay.
So there's a girl I went to college with, and literally have never said a word to her. Emily's never said a word to her. Like, we're just friends on social media. This chick, she basically, I think something happened, and then she just kind of like ran away from home with like no plan. And so she posts on social media like every 5 minutes for the last like week, like no exaggeration. Like, oh, I'm out of gas. Send me Venmo money. Oh, my car battery died. Can somebody give me a tow? Oh, I'm sleeping in the McDonald's parking lot here. If somebody can come pick me up. Oh, this and that. Meanwhile, posting like music videos and like articles, but it's like, it's manic. Like, I know what mania is because I've experienced it myself. And I'm watching this and it's like, this is just a slow motion car wreck, dude. Like, up until she does something stupid or she like robs a store or like she is like, basically she needs to be institutionalized and get on medication to like understand this. So this is all happening. And so she puts out like voice memos and this and that. And at one point, me and Emily are sitting there listening to one of these. And I was like, all right, borderline, she's crazy. You know, she's not doing well. And then she says something about like, my family's trying to kill me because all this money I have. Yep. All this money I have for inheritance coming my way. I'm like, oh, maybe she's got like a big settlement coming.
No,
she goes,
no.
Nobody knows I'm a descendant of Cleopatra and I've got all this and that. And it's like, when she said Cleopatra, I'm like, all right, this bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
She's not in reality. She's just like living in her car,
probably
begging for Venmo money. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's like, I see that shit too. Like that, my parents are trying to kill me. I've seen that a few times. It was the psychotic breaks, man.
It's sad because it's like I almost like want to like but I've never like messaged her, I've never talked to her,
right
but it's almost like I feel bad because I've experienced mania myself and I want to like just send her a message, be like, yo, you need, like, not everybody is against you, like you gotta get that out of your brain you need to be somewhere safe. But it's like, she's like, oh, I need to go find a women's shelter. Oh, my car got towed. I need this. I need that. Meanwhile, she's going to stores and trying on like lingerie and picking pictures of herself like with see-through shirts and like her nipples are out and this and that. And it's like,
nice.
You are just losing. Like the problem is I obviously hope she like hits the curve and like she gets over it and then she can look back on it and be like, oh, that's the most embarrassing period of my life.
Yeah.
It's either that or she like freezes to death in her car. And then it's just a very sad train wreck that I didn't step up and try to provide help. But it's not my place to do so.
You don't even know her. No, her family should be stepping in. If anything. I mean, where's her family? Where's her parents?
Well, her parents so her mom passed away recently.
That could do it.
And I guess her father passed away a while ago. So like I think she just kind of everything just kind of built up on her. And I do feel bad for her. I'm not trying to just like harp on her and give her a shitty semblance of like who she is, but it's like, man, you got to understand, if I go through the last hour on your Facebook feed and there's 45 posts, you don't see there's a problem there. Like, what are you doing?
She won't know until she gets help, too. That's the thing. You could try and reach out to her, but she's not going to listen to you. She's going to think you're crazy. I don't think these people,
sad,
you can't talk to them. You can't. It's too bad because, I don't know. I don't know what the law should be. I think you should be able to scoop these people up. But then again, where do you draw the line? Because I have panic attacks. They're going to scoop me up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know who makes that call. But yeah, man, I know somebody that died actually a couple of years ago that was having one of those. Her mom died or something. And then she went nuts. Yeah. Nothing, I mean, what do you do though? What do you do? I mean, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Unless you personally go and kidnap her yourself, there's nothing you could do.
Well, it's just like there's obviously the quantity of things that she's posting is alarming. And then like somebody will comment and be like, well, why'd you leave my house if you needed a place to stay? And then her rebuttal was, you probably killed my mom. What are you talking to me on this about? It's like,
yeah,
you don't understand. People are trying to help you. Like you're going to get to the point where you have no car, no job, no clothes, no place. Like she tried to sign up for Planet Fitness for $1 so she could have a place to shower.
Yeah.
It's like, do you not understand that today compared to 2 weeks ago is very different? Because you had a room and you had a place to live and you just decided to like drop everything because you have this Cleopatra money coming in. Like this just makes no sense to me.
It's wild.
But there's no logic behind being manic. Like that's the problem.
Yeah. No, there's logic and reason are out the window. Man. So I had some bad news this week. Have you heard of a guy named Nick Mullen?
No.
All right, so he just released a comedy special called Year of the Dragon. And it's pretty funny, dude. He's hilarious. I hadn't heard of him either, but it's special's probably got almost 1 million views now, you know? And solid special, really funny. About halfway through the special, he does my French and Indian War joke. So a comic actually brought up, hey man, just so you know, Nick Mullen did your joke. And I was like, which one? He's like, the French and Indian War one. I'm like, fuck. Now, let me ask you this, because he's funnier than me, obviously. He's like a veteran comic that has a special.
Yeah.
So he's actually has people that are laughing, which is nice. But he does the joke that I thought I came up with, but he does it way funnier. And he's like, what was that war over? Febreze? You know, like shit like that. And I don't understand because I came up with that joke. Like, is there something in the ether? Like, do you believe in the muse? Was it just there for the taking? I mean, it's French and Indian. It's pretty straightforward. What made us both come up with it? And now I have to stop doing it because people are going to think I'm a hack. They probably already think I'm a hack. Because they're probably like, oh shit, that's where Josh got that joke. Even though I did it like 3 months ago. And the special came out like 3 days ago. So...
Well, you also don't want to get up on stage and be like, all right, here's a joke that you might have heard elsewhere, but I came up with it first. And it's like, all right, fuck this guy. What is he talking about?
No, I got to just not do it anymore, I guess. Maybe I can address it. But do you think people think that I'm a hack? Like, that's what I'm not even worried about the joke. I came up with a joke months ago, so I don't care. I should probably stop doing it anyways. But
yeah,
it's an easy joke. It's not even like that well written. It's stupid. But do you think that other comics think I stole it? because I didn't. I mean,
there's been jokes that you've shared on the podcast that I'm sure other people have said.
Right.
You know? Not that you're copying them, but it's just like, I mean, all the COVID jokes, you know, I'm sure everything COVID related has been hit on too.
Yeah. It's just, I guess. Yeah. I mean, there's wars going on right now. So people are looking at wars and making jokes about wars, I guess. And like, that's an easy one to make a joke about because the name. So maybe, I bet there's like 30 comics across the country that we're all doing that joke.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, part of it too is there's so many people on the planet.
Yeah.
And it's just statistically, somebody's going to have the same joke you have. But it's,
I'm working on one right now about the lab-grown meat factories and turning them into industrial dick farms for trans people. I don't think anybody's coming up with that yet.
Okay. Get it done on stage, get it recorded, get a timestamp on there before Carlos Mencia swoops in and, hey, I say, you talk about these dick farms?
I came up with this new joke.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so that's a bummer. And then get this, in the same special, he mentions Helen Keller and Amelia Earhart, which I have jokes about too. He doesn't do like nearly the same jokes as me, but he mentions them. So now he does my joke almost word for word, the French Indian one, and then 10 minutes later he mentions the subject of 2 other jokes. I mean, I've got 100 jokes. So
yeah.
But I don't know, man. It kind of fucking sucks. I mean, I guess they're 2 of the most famous people ever, so I'm sure everybody has jokes about them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of sucks because I think I come up with these things and then I don't know. I don't want people to think I'm a hack, you know?
It's hard to believe that you would have a 100% original thought that nobody else has ever had. I used to think about that when I was a kid of, all right, maybe this combination of 5 words nobody's thought about or said in their entire life. And it's like, out of the trillions of people that have ever lived, I don't think that's possible. You know?
It's tough, man. Although, maybe, I mean, yeah. Permutations, right? Like, because of the math of it, it doesn't sound true, but it is true. There's no deck of cards on Earth that's in the same order once they're shuffled. Like, there could be, but the likelihood of it is so low if they're shuffled correctly, because 52 times 51 times 50 times 49 times, you know what I mean? All the way down to 1. It's such a crazy amount of permutations. And that's only for 52 items, you know?
Yeah.
So if you take 52 words and arrange them in a specific order, it's unlikely anybody's ever spoken them before in that particular order, I guess.
Somebody's got to win the lottery, man. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a number. Somebody's going to come up with it.
I forget like what the stat is, but they're like, if we shuffled a deck of cards every 30 seconds since the Big Bang, we would only be like a third of the way through all the permutations or something like that. It's some crazy number for a deck of cards, which is, it doesn't sound real. It sounds completely, but then if you do the math, it's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Which is funny because I could remember in elementary school, we had like the locks for the lockers and you had like the 4 numbers that you could spin to like set your lock.
Yeah.
And I remember one time this kid forgot his combination and he's just sitting there. I'm like, do you forget? And he goes, yeah, but I mean, eventually I'll get it. Yeah. And it's like, I didn't know the math at the time. It's like, no, you're not going to get it. Like, it's not possible. Like if you sit here for hours and go through every single combination.
It's 10,000 combinations. Yeah.
You might be able to figure it out, but we got English class in 5 minutes, so you better figure your shit out.
All right, 0001. Nope. 0002. Nope. If you do one combination every 3 seconds, that's 30,000 seconds, which is how many minutes? Let's see, 500 minutes?
5,000, something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Go get the gym teacher. Get a fucking bolt cutter in here. That's the only way you're going to get your locker open, dude.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I had this weird virus the past few days. I've been exhausted, but I think I'm better now. I rested, no booze, little zinc. So we're coming up, baby.
There we go.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you see what happened to John Wick?
No, what happened to John Wick?
There was a home invasion at Keanu Reeves' home.
Oh, really?
And he went full John Wick and fucking killed everybody.
No,
he didn't. He wasn't home, but there was a home invasion at Keanu Reeves' house.
Dude, you just got
like
me hard.
Ski
for a
masks
sec.
and the whole fucking thing, dude.
No shit.
Yeah,
What were they trying to do? Steal Keanu Reeves? Kidnap Keanu Reeves?
they might have. I don't know.
Mr. Anderson.
He wasn't home.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, make sure the car is in the driveway before you fucking bust in his door. Come on.
That's wild. Let me guess, L.A.?
Oh, I don't know where. It's wherever his house is. Yeah, I'm not
Probably.
sure.
Yeah.
Probably L.A. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know, because Keanu Reeves doesn't really like the limelight, so I don't know if he would
Yeah,
live.
but I mean, I'm sure he has a house in LA. They all do. It's convenient. I mean, you don't have to like be in the city. You can live, in the hills.
That dude is so humble. Like, what's the story? Like, didn't his wife die like years ago, and he's just like a very like down to earth dude, and doesn't want to have kids, doesn't want to get married, and he's just very like on his own path kind of deal.
Guy's a badass, not a great actor.
No.
Think about his range. It goes from like the most emotion he's ever shown in any character is like Ted from Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
And that's like the most ridiculous,
Yeah, because with John Wick, there is no emotion. It's always just
None.
straight face, like, pew, 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 pew. It's like, all right, you just killed 10 guys.
Baba Yaga. I rewatched John Wick recently. Great fucking movie. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't like about that movie, though, that's corny, which I never liked, is the subtitles or like the text on the screen when they translate the Russian.
Yeah.
It looks corny to me. I don't know, like the way they do it. It's like, and then he's like singing the song about the boogeyman in Russian or whatever. Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a little corny.
You follow like ESPN or anything on social media? You know what's going on with that dude that signed that giant contract?
What, the rape charge?
No.
Oh.
This is it's like Shohei Ohtani or something. He's like some baseball player.
Good old
he just got
Shohei.
signed he just got signed to the Dodgers for $700 million.
God damn. How long is the contract?
10 years.
Oh, $70 million a year? Is it guaranteed?
Yeah, well, the problem is with California taxes, he's only going to be making like less than half of that.
Oh,
But still,
poor bastard.
I know, only 34 mil. Like, oh, bummer, dude.
Oh, man. Yeah, what is the highest tax bracket in California? It's got to be like
340 mil. Let me say that right. So, yeah, because he's making like just under half of that. So,
yeah. So 34 a year. I mean, so there is a tax bracket that's more than 50% then, huh? That's wild.
Because it was
That is so
he'll
crazy.
make 700 mil for 10 years, and then LeBron James' career earnings is like half of that, like $400 million he's made.
Yeah, dude, baseball players have made so much money. People never think about obviously people do, but there's a lot of these baseball players that aren't as famous as LeBron James that just make so much more money. It's wild.
Well, for me, it's kind of ass backwards because I consider one of the most dangerous sports like hockey, and they make the least.
Yeah.
And then the next would be the NFL, and you think like, oh, these NFL players get paid a lot of money. And it's like, yeah, well, compared to like the NBA or like, but baseball always takes the fucking cake, dude. Like they're always the most.
Maybe because it's been around the longest. It's America's pastime. It's like the longest league to exist, I guess.
They
what's it been
also
around
have the
since
most
1800s.
They're playing like 100 games a year too.
Yeah, but their games are also, what's the difference between a game and a practice for a baseball player? It's not like they're abusing their body. The pitcher is, of course, with his shoulder and stuff, but
yeah,
little Tommy John goes a long way, baby. These guys aren't taking a beating. They could play baseball for 20 years, no problem.
Yeah.
But the average career for a running back in the NFL is like 3 years because their body can't do it. You know,
which is crazy because you'll get these players that get big contracts in the first like 4 years of them playing.
Yeah,
and then like it happened with Zeke where nobody wanted to pay him, and then the Patriots like, all right, we'll throw you a little bit. Yeah, and then he went to the Pats, and
yeah,
but he wasn't making nearly what he was making in Dallas, at like nowhere close.
No, he got overpaid in Dallas too. He was great, but how great can a running back actually be? I mean, obviously there's good running backs, very good running backs, but so much of it is like the line and if you can get more than 3 yards a carry, like that's all we need. If you've got a great offensive line, I mean, I don't understand justifying paying double for a running back for an extra 0.4 yard average per carry.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't know.
I think they're very like undervalued because it's like you need to have a running game. Like that's absolutely required. You can have teams that their quarterback sucks and they'll still win the game because they can control the clock and be consistent and get those 3 yards per carry.
Right.
But once you're a running back that's in the NFL for like 5 years, you're just not sexy at all anymore. Like nobody wants to pay you. Nobody wants to have a. It's like the necessary evil. It's like we need a running back. Like, all right, who's in the market? It's like, well, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, well, dude, you're used up by the time you're 27. You're an old man.
Yeah, dude.
You know, nah, he's too old. Yeah. Well, dude, running backs like back in the day, like Marion Barber types, or even like he was like a mini beast mode in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Like those guys take such a fucking beating. It's crazy.
Whatever happened to the fullback position? Because I remember growing up, there was always like a fullback on the Packers, but nobody else really ever had one.
Yeah, like the power eye, like the classic, like the 90s, like ground attack power eye, lead blocker, like the Moose, shit like that.
Like
Jerome Bettis.
Mike Allstott, where like he's got the shoulder pads where there's like 4 pillows in each shoulder, and he's just cowboy collar and all that shit.
It is funny if you look back on like shoulder pad technology. People used to look like fucking big old retards on the field just because they would have like their shoulder pads would be like above their helmet. They fucking crazy, and now they're like nice and snug, and like they just I don't know. Well, the game changed for one. Like it's way more open field. That's why like I hate when they compare stats. Because it's a different sport now, practically. Where they're like, oh, yeah, they just broke the record for the most passing yards. But it's like, yeah, but they used to pass 20% less 20 years ago. It's not the same game, you know? It evolves over time. So, I don't know. I feel like it's more open field. It's more like basketball-ish, you know? Where there's a lot of... I think there's a lot more passing plays, a lot more deep passing plays than there used to be. So I guess that's why, but I don't know why they would, It's weird because you look like the phases, like the shotgun, for example. Like the shotgun disappeared for like 15 years and then they brought it back. And now it's like a standard, you know.
Like half the plays,
Yeah, half the plays aren't under center. They're long snap, which is... It's just weird. And then remember they did that big thing for a while. What the fuck was it called? Where the running back takes the snap. What did they?
Like a direct snap.
Wild card. Or no, Wildcat.
Wildcat, yeah.
Yeah, remember they did the Wildcat was big for like 3 years and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
Like there were like 10 teams doing the Wildcat for some reason for like 3 years. I don't know why the fuck. And then they try and do like the read option for a couple of years. Now there's still a couple teams that are trying to do the read option. Like that's college shit, first of all. If you're in the NFL, I don't know why you're doing a read option. Like, you don't think the defensive end can fucking pick up on that, or the defensive coordinator can like just send the guy at both. You take the quarterback, you take the fucking running back. Problem solved. Like, I don't know why NFL teams try the read option, but it rarely works. Another play that never works that they do all the time, every team, I never understand. Obviously, these guys know way more about football than me because they're paid millions of dollars to call these plays. When the fuck has a screen pass ever worked? I'm sure there's plenty of examples, but the odds of a screen pass working are so rare. Every time there's a screen pass, I feel like it never works. Why do they do it?
Yeah, I know it's worked a couple times for the Packers recently, but I mean, it's the same thing with like a flea flicker. Like if they're doing like a double reverse and then back to the quarterback, it's like, all right, that's like 8 seconds you need nobody to run towards the quarterback. And then like they expect it to pan out and then it's like, oh, loss of 13 yards.
Yeah.
Does
when
help?
that flea flicker works, though, it is exciting.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is cool to see.
I saw it work in person. Fucking Drew Bledsoe to Terry Glenn for the Cowboys. Yeah, touchdown. I actually saw it work. They actually, I think, have the record for the most flea flicker touchdowns, receiver quarterback combo.
So back to the cowboy collar. So I haven't seen that in the NFL in years now. Like even linebackers everybody typically looks the same. I mean, obviously with different body builds and stuff, but
right.
I don't see the crazy accessories like back in the day. Other than now, I see them playing with like an Apple Watch on their hand for whatever reason. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And a bunch of gold fucking chains.
You know, another thing happened too. Yeah, maybe it's just there's no advantage to having it anymore. Yeah, I guess it's just extra weight and you can't move your head as much. So I don't know. But another thing I noticed in the past couple of years is the Under Armour material forearm sleeves that don't go past the elbow. You notice everybody wears those now, but like their bicep is bare, but they just wear like this sleeve on this part of their arm. What the fuck is that about? When did people start that? Because now everybody wears it. Like, what's the advantage for that? Like, you don't scrape your arms when you fall, I guess?
I think I wore those in high school. I wore like the black Under Armour sleeves. Yeah. I don't know. I think it was like, I don't remember the reason I wore them at the time.
But like, they didn't go past your elbow? They're just like...
No, they just covered your forearms. But I mean, I remember 8th grade, I was an offensive lineman and I got like the forearm pads. Yeah. And like, that's how I would block, because I would just go up and just like shuck the guy in the chest with the forearm.
Yeah, so. Fuck yeah. Yeah. You know, it's going to be weird because I'm pretty sure the NFL, I mean, they're doing it late, but is it next year or the year after they're changing everything to real grass?
I hope it's next year because a lot of people get injured on turf, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Like serious injuries.
And another thing, in Europe, they've been talking about forever. Of course, we're always behind for this type of shit. But they think that whatever they use in that fake turf causes cancer, too. Like a lot of athletes have gotten cancer from like a chemical that's in it.
It's like rubberized plastic, basically.
Yeah, and you're like getting it in your skin and shit. I don't know. Maybe they spray it with something. I don't know. But there's a lot of like soccer players over there, or football players. My apologies, you fucking scallywags. But
so is fake grass the same as turf? Is it all the same?
Yeah. I think turf just means like they call it a pitch over there. I think it just means like field, but it like here's the confusing thing. The company that makes the artificial turf, the name of the company is called Real Grass.
That's not an issue.
So is it real grass or real grass? You know?
I remember getting turf burn in high school, like sliding, and you just like drag your forearm and your elbow on the grass and the turf, and you'd stand up and your skin would just be like eroded, already pink and scarred. You're like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, dude. Those little rubber pellets. You know, I guess they just use like old tires and grind them up and then shoot them onto the fucking field.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't miss that, dude. That's a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, turf burns were the worst. Yeah, so I think they're switching, which is going to be it's going to change the gameplay, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. Yeah.
So I'm sitting at I'm with Emily's family Friday night over in someplace in New Hampshire, and I get a message from Clive. It's a picture of the Jeep that he drives. The back axle is off, and the windows are all blown out, and the hood of the car is bent in, and the windshield is blown out.
Jesus.
He goes, he said, was driving home, somebody took a turn and hit me. I was like, oh, okay. So it's like, he's like, Mom's coming to pick me up. I'm going to the hospital, all this and that. So I don't really know what's going on. So basically what happened, he was driving home and it's over by Obashan in like Allenstown area, over by the subway.
Yep.
So he was going straight and somebody was turning behind him, and they basically didn't wait and they just hit the side of him. He said he spun 180. He was going backwards in the road.
Oh my God.
And then when he hit the grass, he rolled the Jeep.
Whoa.
And
did he go upside down?
Yeah, he completely rolled on the roof, and then he somehow landed upright in the ditch.
Damn.
And, I'm talking to him, And I'm like, so did you get out and like talk to these guys that like hit you? And he goes, no, I didn't even talk to him. The cops did. I'm like, why didn't you talk to him? He goes, well, for the first hour after the accident, I couldn't find my glasses and he's blind as shit.
Oh, man.
And he couldn't find his phone. So he had to like ask somebody that pulled over. He's like, can I use your phone? So he called my parents' house, got my mom to like head down there and meet him.
Jeez.
But he's like, yeah, my glasses were underneath the back seat and my phone was lodged underneath the passenger seat, but it wasn't
dude.
Somewhere where you could just see it. It was like lodged under the leather. And I'm like, Clive, God damn it, dude. Like that could have been so different. I could have got the message that like he passed away because of this.
Ooh.
But it was some 17-year-old fucking basically hit him from a dead stop and just like almost, and it totaled his car. He's like, fuck now.
Well, luckily it's definitely not his fault. So insurance will cover that for now. And
yeah, but he only has liability. So basically he doesn't have to pay for anything, but that means he gets no money for a new car.
Oh no, it's not his fault though. The person that hit him, if they have the person that hit him doesn't have full coverage, you mean?
I have no idea. They were an out-of-stater, but my dad was saying Clive only has liability, so
right.
if it was his fault, it would pay out that way. But he gets like no money towards a new vehicle.
I think if New Hampshire's a fault state for accidents, so if it's declared entirely not his fault and entirely the other person's fault, that person has to pay for whatever damage they caused to his car, which would So, plus, not to mention injury. So a lot of times we'll actually call and make a settlement like that guy's, let's say that kid had full coverage. Even if he didn't have full coverage, if he had liability, that's to ensure hitting another person. So whatever that kid has should get Clive a new car. I would think. Yeah. Whatever his car was worth, they should pay him and he'll be able to get a new one. I'm pretty sure. Unless the kid doesn't have any insurance. The car was also not valued.
The car was also not, it was like a mid-2000s Jeep. It was one of those.
I think they just determined, like Kelly Blue Book shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he should get a check, dude. Yeah. I would expect him to. Yeah. Unless the kid didn't have any insurance, then you have to like take him to court or whatever.
Well, then my dad's asking me, he's like, all right, so it was a 17-year-old driving and then a 15-year-old passenger. And he goes, what's the law on driving if you're under 18? Like, can you have a passenger? I think in New Hampshire you could have up to one. Yeah. And then once you're 18, you can have a full car. I think that's how it worked. But I mean, if this guy's out of state, he wouldn't know that anyways.
Right. Was he Massachusetts? Something?
If he's out of state, I'm assuming he was, yeah.
That fucking sucks. Well, at least nobody got hurt, right?
Yeah. I mean, Clive got like whiplash and he like went to the ER, but he said he was fine. But
again, I don't think he has to pay for that either, man. I think this kid is going to have a high insurance premium for a while. You know?
Fucking should, dude. He almost killed my brother, dude.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
No, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I've been in a few accidents myself, so I kind of know how this insurance shit works. But yeah, I've never hit somebody like that. I've only like driven off the road in snow or something. Or, well, I did. I guess I hit a school bus that one time.
Yeah, but I've only that was not one car, but that was no other cars were involved. I just flipped that thing on my own.
So you've been upside down in a car too?
Yeah, I went to go visit Cody at Subway, and I fucking was going down Brickett Hill.
Oh, that's right.
I went up somebody's yard and flipped around and spun on the roof as I went into the intersection. It's like, oh, my dad's gonna break my fucking legs.
Yeah, that's wild. I've never been upside down. I've never flipped.
Yeah, it was literally like we're upside down, and I'm like, all right, Clive, you good? And he's like, yeah. And we you undo the seatbelt and you just fall to the roof of the car. It's just immediate. So
wow. Oh, Clive was in the car with you that time too?
Yeah.
God damn. This kid's been fucking my God.
Going through it, dude.
This kid's been in multiple car flips, and he's only what, 26? 25?
26, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
25, yeah. 25.
25, almost 26. And another half a year.
Yeah, because that happened 10 years ago. So, dude, yeah, he was 15. Yeah.
So I've been going through just our old podcasts and stuff, you know? Just like listening to little parts here and there, just to see the progression. It's so wild because in February, we're like, dude, we're almost 30. It's going to be crazy when we turn. Now it's like, dude, we're almost 31.
Yeah.
The very first episode that we have is it starts like I guess we're rolling. So we haven't thought of a name yet. What do you think, dude? Cream pie Sundae? That's like the first thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, then we can call our fans creamers and say keep creaming every week. Yeah. It's been wild, man.
Well, we've still got the OG episode from December of last year too, because I think we did 2 practice runs before we actually did the first one, or maybe it was just the one,
like a dry run. I don't even know where I'm pretty sure we decided not to release that because it
was awful.
Yeah, it was awful.
Well, no, it was just like it's. I mean, we've made so much progress over it. Like even the fact that I have a new cord and that you could listen to me 100% of the time instead of dipping out. Like,
oh yeah, we had some cord issue. That's right. We had to like clip parts out because it just lost you for like a minute sometimes.
Or even the video shit. I mean, I got down the green screen. That's why I'm trying this blue screen to see if it makes any difference. But I want to.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to try it out. You know.
We also like tried cream pie fact time. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that little segment.
Yeah, we had the CPS News exclusive that we did a few times.
CBS News exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking great. All those no context clips. Yeah. Man, those were a bitch to put together, but they were hilarious listening back.
Yeah, those were funny.
Yeah, it took me like 5 hours a week just to make one of those, just listening and splicing and splicing and splicing and splicing, put it all together.
It's good shit though. I mean, you basically had to like watch through it in like super slow-mo just to get the the little bits and pieces. Because especially like the way you would cut it, you would like have parallel stories, but it would go back and forth. Yeah. So it's like I can only imagine dragging that side to side, and yeah,
it's a bitch. But hey, man, it was good, dude. One last thing I want to cover. I know we're hitting time here, but did you see the video of the Ivy League deans getting
you sent it to me.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
So basically calling for the genocide of Jews is okay until they physically commit genocide Jews or something. That's basically the takeaway. Like
Congress,
if it results in action. That was how they phrased it.
Yeah. They're interviewing they're questioning the deans for Harvard, MIT, and Penn. And they ask all 3 of these ladies, is calling for the genocide of all Jews, does that go against your code of conduct at Harvard? Yes or no? She asked them all 3 of them, yes or no. And none of them say yes. They all dodge the question. Dude, replace the word Jew with any other race of person. Could you imagine the backlash?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Listen, you don't have to agree with everything Israel's doing to know that calling for the genocide of all Jews is wrong. Like, wow. It's just what a topsy-turvy world we live in, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, search the video if you're interested, creamers. It's pretty fucking crazy. It's very Third Reich. It's very
very Reich.
It's strange. By the way, it's against the code of conduct for all 3 of those schools to accidentally misgender somebody. So that
priorities, dude.
Yeah, that's not cool, but calling for the genocide of Jews is. So that's interesting. Just thought I'd mention that. It's something that's topical, that's pretty crazy that happened this week, but we can wrap it up on there.
Creamers, next week, Christmas special.
That's right.
We're opening gifts. We're gonna celebrate a little Santa Claus action.
Yep.
I've got an ugly sweater that I'll be whipping out. It'll be a good time, dude.
Excellent. Yeah. Christmas is coming, baby. So get your stockings. Good old Creamy Claus is going to pay you a visit. And we love you very much. Thanks for tuning in. And till next week, everybody.
Stay creamy.